Phones are positively amazing things. In this fast-paced and hectic world, we use our phones for nearly everything. First patented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1875, we've come a long way in phone technology. We use them to take and send photos of our lunches, or as a convenient substitute for reading the shampoo bottle while we're stuck on the toilet. You can even use them to send me a well-worded apology on Twitter for ever doubting that I was right about Codename X. And sometimes, God willing, we use them as phones. Plus, at least like 4 other things. Heck, you might be using your phone right now to watch this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you are. But going back to what I mentioned earlier, Codename X. To try and quickly explain what Codename X is, for those of you that don't know, back in April 2021, the Chinese game developer Perfect World announced a brand new game that claimed to be the first mobile entry in a famous Japanese console game series. And while they didn't directly say Persona, it was pretty heavily implied, with the visual styles and character designs that seemed reminiscent of Persona 5 specifically, and there was some binary in the trailer that basically said, Persona. We didn't really have a lot to go on back then, with only a short teaser, a few character profiles, this main artwork, and a supposed app symbol. And Perfect World themselves said the game was in very early development. But then, nearly as suddenly as it was announced, almost every official record of the game got wiped from the internet. Many people took this as some sort of sign of a Chinese company getting caught making a ripoff and taking everything down, but I never bought into that idea. Perfect World isn't some random bootlegger. They've worked on official titles for other Japanese IPs like Final Fantasy and One Punch Man. They've worked with industry giants like Blizzard and Valve, and I thought them creating a game with the Persona IP was hardly the most far-fetched idea out there. I figured what was much more likely is that it was an instance of Perfect World mistakenly announcing the title before Sega or Atlus actually wanted them to. But then on March 16th, 2023, or I guess it was actually the 17th in China and Japan, we got the first official announcement of Persona 5X Phantom of the Night. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. We saw an official verified account on Weibo, a piece of official artwork where the established characters we saw 2 years ago do seem to be absent, but we did get some awesome trailers, including quite a bit of gameplay footage showing off daily tasks, shadows, palaces, and some very unique Persona designs that I am absolutely losing my mind over and can't wait to learn more about. We got to see new Phantom Thieves, new Velvet Room stuff, and hey, even Joker showed up for good measure, because of course he did. This really does look to be a full Persona 5 game experience on mobile devices. Now, to be fair, there have been tons of Persona-related apps released for phones over the years, like Aegis the First Mission, or Persona 3 Social, or that one Persona Online game with, golly gee, just the most interesting looking cast of characters you ever did see. And of course, that Persona OA app that tied into the Persona 5 anime. And look, I'd be here way too long if I wanted to mention all of them. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I decided to start thinking about all the important roles that phones have played within the Persona series itself. Since the earliest days back in 1996, we've seen phones do some positively incredible things in the series. So, today I am bringing you all my top 5 phones in Persona. Yes, seriously, let's get started. Phones have the power to store precious memories on them. We save these photos and screenshots so that they're always close to our heart. I mean, you know, if you keep your phone in like your shirt pocket or something, I suppose. Makoto Yuki's cell phone from Persona 3 FES is used for multiple things throughout the course of the game. Elizabeth uses it to tell him areas of Tartarus have opened up, people you live with call you on it to try and make plans with you instead of just, you know, knocking on your door, but most importantly, this phone houses one very special memory. A heartfelt I love you from a very dear online friend that you get from completing the Hermit Social Link, who just so happens to be our insanely hot homeroom teacher. a theme we will definitely be revisiting by the end of this list. From Tatsuya's phone, we move to Lisa's phone, from Persona 2 Innocent Sin. The Persona 2 duology opens with rumors of Joker appearing and granting your wish when you call your own cell phone number. We do see plenty of instances throughout the game of characters who have apparently done this, but it's this one very specific call from this party member's phone that essentially kickstarts the entire plot of the game. It may not be anything all that special as a cell phone, but the sequence of events that a single phone call from it sets in motion is not to be understated. Our third phone isn't actually a cell phone, but one with such weight and importance that I had to include it on this list. The bulky yellow phone from everyone's favorite coffee and curry house, LeBlanc, is well worth mentioning. The game sets up this phone early on when Sojiro calls you on it and reminds you to close down the restaurant for him and lock up, but as the story progresses, it takes on a vastly more important role. This is the phone that allows us to summon our hot teacher in a maid outfit to come hang out with us, and that's pretty darn special. Not only do I love it for that, but after completing the Temperance Confidant, there's no denying that awesome mechanical advantage that comes from calling her up on that phone, getting a massage, and being able to take on nighttime tasks after spending an afternoon in the metaverse. And, okay, look, I just really like Kawakami, okay? Did you know that back in the earliest days of Persona, we didn't need to conduct our Persona fusions in the back of a limo or with a set of guillotines? Nah, Igor just knew a guy who knew a guy, so when we needed to perform a fusion, Igor would just call them up on his iconic and sadly forgotten bone phone. This creepy but interesting phone was a memorable part of the fusion process back in Persona 1. From its distinct noises, to it even appearing in this piece of official Velvet Room artwork. When you're thinking about iconic and memorable phones in the Persona series, there is no way to ignore this one that dates all the way back to the very first title in 1996. And finally, the best phone in all of Persona is the one that's arguably a party member and fellow Persona user. In Persona 5 Strikers, Joker downloads the character Sophia onto his phone. Now, I'm not sure if that means I'm giving this spot to Joker's cell phone specifically, or Sophia herself, but as far as I'm concerned, you can't separate the two, ignoring the end of the game where they actually do that. Sophia was a beloved character who brought a lot to Persona 5 Strikers, and her unique roles and functions as a sort of mobile phone assistant made her an absolute delight. I love Sophia, I loved Pythos, even though it wasn't technically a Persona, and I'm more than happy to call her the #1 phone in all of Persona. And so, there you have it, what I consider the top 5 phones in all of Persona. Were there any that you think deserved a spot on this list? Were you genuinely surprised I was able to pick 5 in the first place? Whatever your feelings, let me know in the comments below. And hey, what do you think about Persona 5X Phantom of the Night? A Persona 5 mobile spin-off with a unique cast of characters sounds pretty darn good to me. Do you have a favorite design so far? Have any of the Personas jumped out at you? Let me know. No matter what your thoughts are, thank you for joining me on this Persona phone-filled adventure. I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you all to grab a wet wipe and disinfect your phone every now and then. You would be amazed how many germs our phones pick up. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go clean mine right now too. So until next time, take care.